And I also learned at that time, Iain, to have a lot of compassion for the human experience, a lot. And not to be beating myself down for, but just to see, oh, okay, that could come back a little bit. You understand?
So you had compassion with yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
And I learned to love myself.
It's very important, isn't it?
Probably one of the most important things in the world. And when I go into countries around the world, whenever we have a sacred circle or a satsang or a meeting, one of the questions that I've asked, because it happened accidentally in one place and I was astounded, one of the questions that I ask is, how many people has had the challenge of self-love? Everybody raises their hand. So you don't have to ask, are you having that challenge? Or you don't have to pinpoint it. You just say, who's had that challenge? Everybody.
What does self-love mean to you?
It means to acknowledge that there is something within us that is, the word something is also odd. For spiritual types particularly, people who are really walking upon the pathway, to acknowledge that the heart beats by the mystery of the divine. It's enough. It's more than enough. That I would call self-love. I would call that a well-trodden pathway to self-love, right there. Yeah. You don't have to do anything. Just acknowledge that what you're seeking is definitely within you.
The divine has strange ways at times, doesn't it, that we don't always easily understand. Yeah. It's, I know for myself in life that it's afterwards I see that there was actually something very valuable in what happened, but at the time when something happens it can be very difficult and very challenging, very confusing. But
it's wonderful that you see afterwards.
It's true, and I think the experience is that I've learnt more and more that afterwards it's probably going to come, although at the time I still don't know. There's still the doubt, but that's the wonderful thing about experience in life. Somehow you do understand there is a perspective and there's a wider picture, but that takes sometimes some hard experiences to reach that point.
Or some fundamental experiences, or the willingness just to see that is that's immanent in the life, that's part of it. The challenges are part of it. The challenges not well met are part of it, and the reflection of how it could have been better met, and then the next time it comes out better. It just does, because you're sincere. I feel that sincerity is also a very important element of spirituality. I'm not so sure you have to go to the temple or not go to the temple or whatever it is, but I think when you're sincere, when you're really sincere, I feel that is a temple, isn't it? It is a sacred place, that sincerity, isn't it?
I think, yeah, sincerity comes from honesty. And if we're honest with ourselves and with others,
good point.
It's a very good starting point.
You bet. And I feel that now that we have that kind of a foundation there, that honesty has to be met with compassion, because sometimes we use honesty against ourselves. And when being honest with yourself, sometimes you want to just smack yourself, where in fact, if you were just more compassionate, you would be compassionate with others who are going through the same situation, right? I mean, what you do for yourself, you will do for others, right? Don't you feel that?
I feel that's one of the most important things for life, is to live by your own, not standards, but your own, not even beliefs, but your own
integrity.
Integrity, yeah. And,
I love that word, by the way.
And what you kind of, that's the result of how you live, isn't it? And it's not so much karma as such, but somehow what you create comes as a consequence, and you have to anyway. But let's go more to. I know that when you were in India, you had these periods where you were silent for a long time. Is that something that's still practical in your life?
No. I think there's not any practice in my life, really. But I'm strong for intent and prayer. One of the things I feel that I'm here for, that I'm on the planet for, is to aid the shift in consciousness at this time. At least that's what my master told me, and it resonated with me on a very deep level. So there's a constant kind of, constant, at least daily, and maybe when I'm driving in the car, maybe when I'm going to sleep, maybe when I'm taking a shower, there's a kind of perpetuation, a very deep perpetuation that everyone now must wake up. This is urgent, and that urgency is wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity, and so it's not a practice. It's a sincere and joyful and wonderful intention.
With waking up, it's interesting because there's on this program, there's certain people on Conscious TV. There's certain people that have done a lot of work on themselves, a lot of practice, and waking up to some degree or to a great degree has happened.
Yes.
There's other people that will do a lot of work and say waking up happened, but it was completely not as a consequence of everything they did. And there's other people that do nothing, that seem to just wake up.
Yeah.
It's interesting how there's these different...
Yeah, I would say, dare anyone say that they've gone through all these practices and it has not done anything. I think that's pretty arrogant. I really do. I mean, you spend your life at considering the matter and then saying, oh, that consideration had nothing to do with this. No, I don't think so. And maybe for some other people, they don't have to consider that at all. It's true what you say, but I feel like, well, you know, it would be like saying all the consideration I've taken to take care of my good health. Well, I'm healthy in spite of that. Okay, if you want to say so. But I disagree. And I also agree that you don't have to do a thing. You know, I think it's the apple falls off the tree syndrome.
What is awakening to you? Is it the same as enlightenment?
Awakening can be a little different. I mean, we could define it differently because it could be that wonderful field that one's walking in finally, you know, that really expands their mind, expands their heart, expands their awareness of what they're doing in their world, how it is, all of those kinds of things, that spiritual kind of sacredness. I think everything's sacred always anyhow, microphone, chair, whatever. But then I would say that a deep realization would have to do, it's very, very precarious to put the incomprehensible into words. But I would say that for sure you could never miss the point that everything is total and there is no part anywhere of anything whatsoever. I really like what the great Wangpo said. It's one of my favorite statements, and the Lankavatara Sutra. Wangpo said, he was really a great Chan master, he said, though there is no indwelling reality in any of this, in some marvelous way it does exist. The Lankavatara Sutra says, things are not as they appear to be, nor are they otherwise. So I feel those two are really rich in what it is to live realization. Those two sets of definitions would be well in place for a realized soul.